Good morning. Welcome everybody to the first AR festival on Earth, the second and virtual edition. We are streaming live from Prague, from Palladium Palace, and today will be all focused on augmented reality. In fact, we welcome all creators and creatives, all brands, representatives of marketing departments, and also you, AR fans, who are eager to see and hear all our speakers, which will be talking about augmented reality in respect of its current situation, of the progress over the last 2 years, also about possibilities and opportunities for brands and companies how to use AR. We will also touch the part which will be focused basically on social responsibility and on how the AR can influence the real actual life. And then later in the afternoon we will also take a look, and we will have let's say a global meeting of AR specialists and creators who will share with us their inspirational ideas, their insights and their stories. So welcome again. On this place I need to say that we also are here because of the help of our partners. It's the No Limits Agency, Palladium, Amnesty International, Lenslist and LiveSignal. My speech won't be very long because what we really want to do now and here through all the day is the presentations and listening to the real experts, which I'm not really one of them. And I'm curious to hear about what's new in augmented reality and how it really can influence basically our lives. Let me welcome on stage now Pavel Max Vincenc, the inventor of the ARfest and also a creative AR director in No Limits. Max, join me on the stage, please, and tell us also a couple of words. Good to see you.
Thank you, thank you. I can say I'm really happy. I'm really happy for this moment because it means that there is a second edition of the ARfest Prague, and I'm really proud. And thank you all people here, all people behind these cameras, and everybody here that this can happen today. And so, what about today? I hope you will enjoy whole day with us. And I want to say just 3 words about today. And these 3 words is about the ARfest, about how we can inspire each other, how we can engage through AR, through new technologies, and of course, what is really important, to be creative and connect creativity with your brands and brains, of course, and to be someone maybe who will be not only the follower, and also this is the question why. And when you know the right answer for this question, you always be a leader in technologies, leader in creativity, in everything. So enjoy this show, enjoy this day, and I would like to wish you nice, engaging ARfest 2021.
Thank you very much, Max. We'll get right to the point. The first speaker coming from Netherlands is Chris Pelk, creative director of Livewall Group, and he will present us his heartwarming and inspirational story about creating spa effects for the Disney and maybe some eye-opening leap into the near future.
Yeah. Hi everybody, I'm Chris Pelk. I'm proud to be one of the first speakers of today of this ARfest 2021. And as you've been told, I'm the creative director at Livestream Group, an AR artist, a Facebook Spark AR partner network member. That's a mouthful. So let's start with a little origin story. When I was a kid, I was like watching a lot of movies. Movies like Ghostbusters, Karate Kid, and also Back to the Future. And this scene is one of the scenes that, yeah, did something with me. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Texaco. You can trust your car to the system with the star. Checking oil. Checking landing gear.
Shark still looks fake.
I think this was the first time for me I saw a sort of AR. And I strongly believe that the things you have seen in your youth, movies and things like that, forms you also creatively as an adult. And that also counts for this.
I want my MTV.
Turn it on.
Leave it on. America. See the music you want to see.
I want my MTV. All right.
Before YouTube, MTV was the place to be to watch music videos. Yeah, music videos. In music videos, they experiment a lot. They have a lot of creative freedom. And nowadays, still, I watch music videos to inspire myself. But when I was like 8 years old, I saw this one, and this one triggered something in me. So, My Adidas by Run DMC. Run DMC made this song just simply to because everybody was wearing Adidas superstars in their scene. But the sales of Adidas went through the roof after that song. And still, it quickly became a serious collaboration between Run DMC and Adidas. And they were being heavily sponsored. And they still are. Now, on the occasion of the superstar's 50th birthday, Adidas decided to release a limited edition to honor the Run DMC, the Superstar DMC. When I saw this as a child, and again, I was like 8 years old, I already knew what I wanted to be later in life. I want to invent and create cool stuff, you know, cool, engaging stuff for cool brands and cool artists. You can imagine that my love goes deep for that brand, Adidas Superstar. I'm, as you see, I don't know if it's possible to see. I am wearing like superstars all my life. So, Adidas, if you're watching, please contact me. We can create something awesome together. Maybe for the 50th anniversary of the superstar. Anyway, to invent and create cool eye-catching ways to promote cool artists and cool brands. And that's exactly what I'm doing nowadays. As a AR artist, as a creative director at Livestream Group. LiveHall is a super creative, full-service digital agency. We are turning great ideas into smart campaigns, content, digital experiences, platforms, and apps. The reason I love LiveHall is because our focus is on making life more fun, simple, and connected. And we are lucky to do that for AAA brands like McDonald's and Coca-Cola, Spotify, Warner Music, Sony, Red Bull, but especially for their audiences. As a creative director, I work mostly with my brain, all day long. And to even that out, I'm always searching for hobbies to do that I can still use my brain, but but also my hands, you know. And so started a new hobby for me, and it was making AR effects for Instagram. I joined a close beta group, and invented a lot of effects like this. And with success. People liked it. The effects I made were all focused on serving human needs, primal and modern needs. This one is one of my favorites. It's called Revolution. And it's serving the human need to be seen, to show your skills, to show yourself 100 times. And 968.5 million people agree with me. They liked it, they watched it, they used it and showed themselves to the world. That hobby quickly became a very attractive product for LiveHall. We have already had the privilege to create many awesome AR effects for brands, labels, and artists, like Ozzy Osbourne or Afrojack, just to name a few. An AR effect is something special, you know. You bring a positive experience, and that positive experience anchors in the brain of the users. But only that, but also the brand and the artists that are presenting that experience. And to top that off, it has a wide spread. Especially if influencers and stars are using your AR effects. Like these two familiar faces.
I just need you to shut the fuck up, 'cause nobody asked you, bitch. I need you to shut the fuck up, bitch. 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 Bow, bow, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bow, bow, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bow, bow, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bow, bow. Hit it, Fergie.
All the time I turn around, brothers gather around, always looking at me up and down, looking at me. I just wanna say it now, I ain't trying to round up drama, little mama. I don't wanna take it back, and I know I'm coming off just a little.
I choose these two because they were really creative with the AR effects. That isn't always the case. But I appreciate Will and Madonna being so creative with them. Okay. Now I want to share a magical story with you. A story about working with your heart as a creator. AR effects and brands. Hoping to inspire you all. And maybe doing the same. Because in the aforementioned job titles, the most important one is missing. being a father.
Hello.
Sorry, Abby, for this end shot, but this is Abigail. Abigail is my 7-year-old daughter. And as you can see, Abigail is like madly a fan of Frozen, of Disney Frozen. So one day I decided to give her the freezing powers of Elsa by creating an AR effect in which you can freeze your screen with your mouth open. In order not to get into trouble with copyright, I had to make it more realistic. In other words, you can see the screen is like really being frozen. But because I made it for Abigail, I put a lot of love into it. I wanted her to have like a really great time when she was using that AR effect. And also I wanted to, I wanted others to use it, enjoy it and have the same feeling as Abigail. So I made a nice post and a nice story about it. And put that on my Instagram. But, and this is an important tip, I tagged the Mickey out of it. Presenting my effect to all Disney profile accounts and hashtags I could find at that time. Sounds logical, right? Still, so many people don't get that. They forget that if you want to get noticed, you want to show your art, you have to shout it off the roof. And then it happened. I was contacted by Disney and Canteen, their strategic partners. They were like impressed with the effect I made, the realistic frozen effect. And they asked me to make one with official Disney Frozen assets to promote Disney Frozen the musical in London.
Cool.
That's right, Abby. Such a cool sequel to something I started with you. And to make it even cooler, I co-created the Disney version with Abigail. What really added value, emotionally, but also in creative ways. Abby had a lot of influence on what I added to the effect, like
Well, sparkles.
And so a magical effect came to life. Made together with Abigail, made with pure love and fun. For one of the biggest and most fun brands for kids, Disney. Indeed. Time to let it go, Abigail. It was that effect came to life, and now it was time to dive into the next awesome project. Because when you're in the right energy, you have to keep that magic flowing. Liveall was in contact with Nijntje. And Nijntje is, in English, it's Miffy. And it's another iconic brand for kids. And it was very special for me also because I saw the opportunity to make another effect for my other daughter, Gwendolyn. And Gwendolyn, oh, sorry, I'm gonna show you this one. Because I don't know if Miffy or Nijntje is known here. So I'm just going to show this one to have like a, maybe a representation.
A smart little bunny, Miffy, a cute little bunny.
And if it's still not clear, then it's like maybe compare you can compare it with the popularity of your beloved mole, that black one. I hope I say it right. Kocekcic? Kocekcic. Okay, thank you. So, yeah, this is Gwendolyn, but in a really strange, distorted way. This isn't an AR effect, by the way. This is just a thing that goes wrong now in this presentation, but I like it. I like it. And just to keep it up, this is the effect I made for her with Miffy to celebrate the birthday of Miffy, 65 years old. Of course, like Gwendolyn was like way too young to co-create. But just like the Disney filter I made with Abigail, I put a lot of love and energy in it because it was so personal, you know. And with that, I didn't make only her happy, but also 30.5 million other happy kids. And I think that's the biggest reward you can get if you make a digital product or like an AR effect. It gives so much fulfillment. And that brings me to the big, the big thing I want to bring to you today. The big message is the amount of love you put into your creations determines the amount of love you will receive from those who enjoy it. This rounds up my first keynote of today. I had a lot of fun. And you did see me getting really nervous because I don't do this a lot, you know. This is one of the one times I did it. But I will be seeing you later in the day, and I hope I will be less nervous and will bring the story in a better way because it's another topic. It's the metaverse. So, see you later.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chris, for your really interesting point of view. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris Melk. If we were in real world, there would be a big applause, which definitely is going around all the viewers now who are remote.
It's strange times, but I'm happy to be here because my flight yesterday almost got like cancelled.
Oh.
So I'm just happy to be here at all without audiences. But online, a lot of people are watching. So let's make it a good day.
One of positive things on the negative happenings, in fact. That's great that we are here, and you definitely, I suppose, you watch us and are interested in our speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will now take another look from. Basically, the next story will be really interesting, and I'm again curious how is that possible. From 0 to 1 billion impressions, the journey from establishing company in 2019 to being a Spark AR partner in 2020. Right out of the jingle, we will have here the CEO of Flamingo Filter, Vincent Trastour.
Hello everyone, my name is Vincent Trastour. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Flamingo Filter, and I'm from Paris. Really nice to meet you all. So Flamingo Filter is a studio I have created in 2019. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of Flamingo Filter, because I hope it will help you when you start a company and bring you information about how I did and how I made it to where we are right now. And I will also tell you more about the filter that made more than 1 billion views on Instagram. So let me first show you these pictures. Can you see the error? Can you spot the difference between today and that picture? Yes, it wrote 19 because it's a visual from the ARfest in 2019. It's the first ARfest I went to, and it's actually the first ARfest. And to tell you a little bit story about this event, I was the first to buy a ticket from that event in 2019. And at that time, I just started creating AR for like 1 month or 2 months on Spark AR. And I did not know much about it, but I was really interested in it. So when I see that there was tickets for that event, and there were so many great speakers like Piotar Boa, Marc Wakefield, Joanna Jauska, or Adrian Carter, I really decided I should go there to learn more about it. And then I met all these awesome people. So I hope you really like that pictures. So there is on that picture, you can see Piotar, Max, that is already organizing that event also this year, and so many great friends I met there. And I had a lot to learn from these people, because at that time, a lot of them were already making money and making a living from creating augmented reality effects on Facebook and Instagram. Since it was my first company, I wanted to create around that topic. I had a lot to learn from them. So when I came back to France, just after this event, I finally had the chance to get access to the closed beta on Instagram. And then I started to publish my first effect. So the first effect is transforming the user into a unicorn. The second was actually made for my dad. And the third one is made for a cause that I really like, is to save the bees, because it's something really important for the planet. And like, as you can see, it was like really homemade effect. And even the person that are doing the videos, 2 of them are my girlfriend, and the rest is my dad and my sister. It was so interesting, everything that I learned from the ARfest in 2019, and all the people I met. I decided to keep going across Europe as much as I could to go on events where we could speak about and talk about Spark AR, actually. So I went to Facebook Ideate in Berlin, and from them I met a lot of people from Facebook. And I had a chance to get invited to the next hackathon in London about Spark AR in 2019. When I came to the hackathon, I could meet all the creators from all around Europe and the world, actually, because there were people like Luke, Lian, also from the US. And it was so interesting, everything that I could learn traveling across Europe and meeting all these people, that we decided to create an event in Paris. The Paris Augmented Reality Influencers Show that we did in 2019 as well. We had the chance to have like 120 people attending to the event. And we also had great speakers like, again, Piotar from Italy. We had Stefan from USA. And we have also Pavel from Russia and Adrian again from France. So all these people, we had the chance to meet each other for like few times in 2019. And just because of Spark AR, I could create great relationship in business, but as well great friendship that we still have today, 2 years after. Maybe you don't know what is SPN, but I think like a lot of people you're gonna meet today during this event will be talking about the SPN, because like many of us are inside the SPN, which is the Spark AR partner. So it is a partnership between us and the software Spark AR, which helps us to have access to betas and have access to custom support from the team of Facebook. This is really important for us. And it was really rewarding when we finally could access to this partnership in 2020. This is the reward that we all had after working 2 years or 3 years with Spark AR and doing a lot for the community. Because being part of the Spark AR partnership is not just about how many effects you could create or how much money you could do from Spark AR or how big is your agency. It is more important than that. It's much more about what the community can do for you and what you can do for the community. Because all the persons that are today inside the Spark AR partnership program are persons that have done a lot for the community. Today, at Flamingo, we have around 40 clients, and we could create around like 60 AR experiences that have generated more than 2 billion views for our clients. So it's a lot for us since we started in 2019. First, because we came to the ARfest, but we didn't know anyone, we didn't have any clients, and we didn't have done any AR experiences at that time. And a lot of what we've done really comes from the community. Because the first clients we had them because we knew other creators that maybe had too much work to do, or maybe they didn't know how to do something and we could do it for them. So everything we have built really came from the community and started in the ARfest in 2019. Today we are a team of 4. So we have Manda, which is our social media manager. We have Pascal, our business developer. Jordan, who is also a co-founder at Flamingo Filter, who is our art director, and myself, the CEO. So this is some example of work we've done. So on the right, you can see it's a messenger effect we've done for video calling on Instagram and Facebook Messenger. We have also, in the middle of the screen, we've done augmented packaging. So it's a lot of things you can do with Spark AR and doing augmented reality. But right now, I think you're more interested in knowing how we could do like 1 billion impressions with one effect, more than 1 billion impressions. So let's focus on that effect right now. It's an effect we've done for a music band in France, a rock music band called Chaka Ponk. The effect is called Monkey Me. It was our first big contract, especially inside the music industry, and it shows a lot of great use cases with that effect. And you can scan the QR code if you want to try it at home. And please do it, because afterward I will make you do a little test with that effect, which is kind of funny. So the band is called Chaka Ponk. It's a band that exists in France for like 20 years or more. It's a really brand that I really appreciate, not just about the music style that I like, but about the images they are like they're sharing of them. You know, they don't do like crazy stuff. You don't heard from them inside the newspaper because they have done bad things, etc. Just they really are nice persons, and they always promote like saving the planet and doing things that are right. So I really enjoyed working with them. And something really interesting also about them, and it's why they wanted to do something in AR, is because the singer that you can see on the right, Fra, is also a digital artist. So they are really like focusing on the music as well as a digital art. And something really interesting about that band is that they have a virtual member. They have a virtual member called Goz, who is actually a chimpanzee. You can see on the photo on the left. So the goal of the experience was to transform the user into a monkey, but not just for fun, but actually to give life to Goz, the monkey of the band. So this is a funny picture that shows a monkey transform into a kind of a man. So we had to do the opposite. But actually, this is a screenshot from Reface app, and what the client, the band, was showing us when they first came to see us, it was post-processing example. So someone transformed into a monkey using an application like Reface app. And you know, in the augmented reality industry, you're really scared when your client comes with post-processing example, you know, because it's post-processing is done with a lot of computing power, something that we don't really have in augmented reality since it's in real time. But we really wanted to work with them, so even if we kind of know it might not be possible to do at that time, and also because we were not really experts with Spark AR as much as we are today, we said yes. So we were really scared, but actually the result was kind of nice. We spent a lot of time working with Spark AR, and we had like different technical capabilities to work with. There is actually two big technical capabilities we have used there. So one is the face deformation, because we really wanted to reproduce the muzzle of a chimpanzee. So we had to create a deformation of the face with a muzzle. That's something you can see on the picture. And as well, there is another thing, because we really, and something also the band really wanted, is that the effect could be customizable for every person that are going to use the effect. So for example, if I have a more white skin, the effect will be more clear. If I have a more darker skin, the effect will be more darker, which is really important when you try augmented reality and something on your face. The user really wants something that fits with his skin color or with this morph of the face. So we actually implemented a color sample from the face, but we use the tip of the nose for that. And so as you can see, if I place on the picture on the right, if I place a green pen in front of my nose, it changed the total color of the face. So that's something you can try if you take filmed the QR code and took the effect. The last thing you do when you have done an augmented reality filter on Instagram is that you have to send it to the review team. So they have to accept your effect, you know. And the review team has always been changing for the last 2 years because like the different standards of communities are changing. So you constantly have to update. And at that moment when we were making this augmented reality effect for the band, the face deformation was disabled and was not allowed on Instagram. Actually, not the face deformation itself, but the face deformation that could promote plastic surgery, like bigger lips or bigger eyes, something like that. This was disabled at that time. So every effect that were containing face deformation had to go through a specific review line. So it took us 3 months to get that effect validated. Also because it was the time of COVID, so everything took a little bit longer. But it was fine because also because of COVID, the deadline for the band was pushed. So we had like more time to work. One thing really important about this effect is the different use cases it shows. For sure, it helps the brand to communicate on social media with their community and on other social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, even though on Twitter, even they use it on Twitch, on live stream. But it was also something really important. The band was waiting for more than 20 years to be able to give life to their monkey, to their virtual member. And also, you know, transforming people into monkey might have some philosophical reason, you know. And like you could understand if you listen to one of the latest albums that I will show you just after. It was also used as a VFX when they film the video clip. Let me show you. So here are some screenshots, of the video clip they have done for the music Apologies. And for the album Apologies and the music Funky Junky Monkey. So this was filmed during the COVID. So not all the members of the band could meet at the same place at the same time. And they couldn't not all go to the studio. So they had to film themselves with their phone. And what a better use case for a filter than being used in real time to be filmed and then added inside the video clip. So this actually helped the band to film the video clip, but also reduce the amount of VFX that were needed to make the video clip. So I invite you to scan the QR code if you want to have a look to the clip. There is like a video clip of 5 minutes where you can see the filter being used all along the music. And something really important to notice about the 1 billion views is that it was 100% organic. There was not a single paid ads. Nothing was paid to promote that effect. So I can tell you, if you want 1 billion views on Instagram or on other social media, and you have to pay for it, you will pay a lot. But what are the reasons of the success? So Facebook is giving us 3 pillars you have to follow if you want to make a filter that might please the community or might get viral. So these 3 pillars are audience. So you have to narrow your audience before you build the effect to choose what the audience you want to make the effect for. And you have also to focus on the narrative. So it's better if your effect is supporting the story of the user and the effect is not a story by itself. For example, if you play a game, it's hard to support the user of the story. A game is a story itself. But games does also have great use case on their own. And also you have to focus on the timing. So you have to connect the user with what's happening. And that effect, even though it went viral on its own and not really something we were expecting, it went viral in India especially. Why? Because it was used by influencers to communicate with their own audience and to support their own stories, because it was an effect used with a certain type of music, and also with the timing. Everyone could use that effect that influencers have been used, so they felt connected with what was happening right now. And that's how the effect became viral. So actually, even though we didn't think of these 3 specific pillars when we build the effect, actually, when you think on how it gets viral, you can find out you can retrieve all these three pillars. And I will say something at the end, and everything that brought me here today is the community. So the last sentence I will say, the community rocks, because everything that built Flamingo Filter, every first client we had, even the music band, come from a friend of a friend of a friend. You know, it's all around the community, even if it's my personal community around me. Every first client we have with Spark AR, for example, came from the community of Spark AR creators that brought us to us. Because at the beginning, we were no one. No one knows us, and we had no clients. So community is very important. And please, like us, do things for the community as well. Don't just wait things coming from the community. Thank you very much. I hope you learned something from this presentation, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was again interesting.
Yeah, I hope so.
We had some plan, but things don't go always according to the plan.
Sure.
Yeah? I'm just being told that actually the connection with Kym, which was not perfect for a minute.
Yeah, I know Kym is far away.
Yeah, that's okay, that's okay. Thank you very much.
Sure, no
Thanks a lot. We will see each other in a minute again. Well, in a minute, in a couple of minutes, because the next speaker is the co-founder of Pixel Chefs, Kym Fiala. He will be presenting his things remotely. I hope he can hear us. And you will soon have chance to also listen to his story of magical world of AR, his animation background, how he got to augmented reality and actually to the Spark AR, and he will a little bit explore for us the possibilities of the world AR. So let's have the jingle, and then it's up to Kym Fiala.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
To je zvyk z těch poutí, který obvykle dělá.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
All right, I'm not sure that that Kym is hearing us. Can you hear me, Kym?
I can hear you guys now.
Super, super. Thank you for little complications or maybe a mess, but now it's yours. Go ahead, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. I'm going to be taking you guys through a little bit about World AR and just what brands are using World AR for. So just a little bit about myself. I'm the co-founder of Pixel Chefs. We are a Spark AR network partner. I personally am based in Johannesburg, South Africa. A little bit about my schooling background. I'm an art school graduate. After art school, I got my certificate in fine arts, and then I decided to major in visual effects and 3D animation. After that, I got into the advertising industry where I started working on music videos for MTV, some corporate videos, you know, just basic motion graphics, animation, stuff like that. Eventually, I ended up getting into digital, where I started building a lot of motion tracking applications and gaming experiences for brand activations, you know, so in malls, etc. During that, like, I found a passion for augmented reality and just the potential of it. I saw such huge potential in the future. So on the journey of that, I eventually started my own business, and from there we started selling AR filters through the Facebook and the Instagram platform. So I'm just going to take you guys through a little bit of what our business does. So this is our showreel. So all of that was done through all the social platforms like Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, all online. So we also offer motion graphics. That's what we traditionally come from. So we've just handled a lot of brands in that space. So our clients and partners, these are just some of the clients we've worked on in the past. Yeah, so we've dealt with pretty high-end clients. Okay, so going on to a bit more of the wacky kind of work. This is my, these are just some of my filters. You know, a lot of my concepts are just, yeah, a little interesting. So these are just a few clips of some of my effects. So a lot of people ask me like what inspires my effects, just because they a little bit out of the box. You know, a lot of things inspire my effects. It's all about how I'm feeling at that very moment. Sometimes I just decide to build quick, you know, simple, fast, funny stuff. Just to sharpen my skills a bit, you know, and then sometimes I actually take time to just express myself, you know, and tell personal life stories of mine. So you'll notice a lot of my complex filters are those ones that kind of tell a story of my life. You know, for example, this ladybug, that I'd say is a story about me and my daughter, going back to school during COVID. And I was getting into a lot of personal motivational content, so as you can see, the Power of Now is one of the books in the back. And yeah, I like to tell these stories through these characters. So one thing I stress, to a lot of creatives is the importance of finding their own personal voice. Just to become a success anywhere in any industry, it's very important for you to, not just find a niche, but find a niche that you that resonates with yourself. For me, it seems to be World ARfest. So, I love expressing myself that way. So another thing that for me is I feel is my creative voice is I treat a lot of my videos that I post with just as importance as my filters. So here's just an example of video that I created. And I like to share these things on Spotlight and TikTok because they're short clips that get quite a few views. I mean, some of these views have something like 20,000 views on Instagram, and the great thing about it is that I don't just get to get high views on my video, but I help people gain views on theirs. There's 44,000 views reels made with this effect, and some have 5.3 million views each on their videos. So, this avenue to me seems something that can gain huge traction. These are just this is just the statistics on the one spider filter. At the moment, it's got about 227 million views. This one seems to be really, really popular. Okay, so to the main topic, if you guys have noticed, most of my effects are World AR effects. So, what is World AR for people who don't know what it is? So World AR is pretty much a feature that allows people to place faces. You can transform environments, anything regarding the back of the camera. You can pretty much transform people's environments. So what are the possibilities using World AR? So these are just examples of what people are doing out there. But I feel that there's just a key features that people use this, the way they use this form of tech. So firstly, it's a great visualization tool where you can place furniture in your space. For education purposes, you can see dinosaurs in the real scale, at their real scale. For travel applications, can be locations. For example, this is something we did where you could be trying to stage dive in, or you could visit the pyramids.
Welcome
So
to
I've left
Hanspy.
all the
Hanspy is a fishing
links
town
below
and popular tourist destination in the Overberg district
of
municipality.
all the
Western
artists
Cape.
whose
Welcome to the
videos I've
Valley of
used
the
it.
Kings located in Luxor, Egypt, also known as the Valley of the Gates of the Kings. The valley is known for its rock-cut tombs.
So another powerful way of using AR is portals, to build these worlds within worlds. So I call them windows to other worlds. Some Blender mod, built that. So for people that have been trying a lot of these virtual stores during the pandemic, you know, just testing out what it would be like to purchase stuff in a virtual store. And then this is also a great example of DODs, where these virtual galleries are popping up where people have been able to buy NFTs, you know, within these augmented reality portals. So art galleries are still a really good way to showcase stuff within these portals. Okay, so health and fitness as well. I see huge potential in this as well. You know, this is a project that created, and this thing just blew me away. You able to race your friends at an actual like 100-meter dash. So to be able to do this in AR can open potential to virtual trainers and all sorts of AR fitness applications. Okay, so retail spaces and digital branding. This is something we did for retail. So this is extracting. I also think it's leveraging the world AR technology. Yeah, so we were asked to make something for in-store. And this was also really cool to do Fruit Ninja on, you know, on a packaging. And this was another job we did for an ice cream company where we could augment their new characters on their new flavor of ice cream. So for the near future of World AR, landmarks and location, I feel, are going to play like huge roles. So to be able to recognize landmarks and to be able to put a augmented reality experience over a landmark, I think that would just be, you know, really powerful. So with location-based AR, just to be able to leave virtual objects all around that people can collect, or whether it's vouchers or coupons that people can collect within certain spaces, is also something that could change the brand's thinking. So just some of the brands utilizing World AR. So we've, I'm just going to take you through some of the brands that we've worked on using World AR. So this year we started off with a really cool project. This was Ferrero trying to get people to recycle their Ferrero containers after they're done with the chocolates. The concept was called upscaling your box, or upcycling your box. So these were just some of the concepts that they asked for. You know, just some jewelry boxes and creative stuff for people to store their you know, their belongings in. And they came up with a few creative ideas to use these boxes. So first thing we were tasked with were to actually make the boxes. So we modeled everything in 3D, and we textured it. We made sure the poly count was really low, PBR workflow, and we managed to create some pretty good results for a really low file size. So this is just some of the behind the scenes of what these objects look like in Spark. And the incredible thing about this was we managed to get all of these within a 2 meg limit. So this was actually an effect that was hosted on Facebook. And to get all of this stuff into 2 MB was quite impressive. So this is what the final effect ended up looking like. So we had a native UI that you could swap through. The night light was pretty cool because like it would actually darken people's environments. So I thought this was a really powerful way to use visualization. So before anyone builds the effect or builds the actual object, they can see what the final product should actually look like. Okay, so this project was also a pretty cool one. It was one we did for the Olympics. Skateboarding, they were bringing into the Olympics for the first time. And they were trying to teach people this no comply trick. And this is what the team came up with. So all of this is real time within the Instagram camera. People can see exactly how to do certain tricks. So this year we also managed to, in collaboration with Facebook Creative and Samsung, we did another World AR effect that was a portal. So what we did was we took one of their Samsung TVs and we turned them into a portal, into a stadium portal. So this was for the Euro 2020 as well. So during COVID, a lot of people couldn't get to see the Euro, so they were just looking for an experience that would get people feeling like they're in the stadium. So for this next project, this was an in-house job we did for a Spark AR hackathon, and this one was extremely powerful for me. This one here was an effect to bring awareness to cleaning up the oceans, you know, on man's impact on the ocean. So we built this effect where you could remove all the trash from the bottom of the ocean, and every time you remove an item, the coral starts to come alive, and all the animal life comes back. So eventually, once you removed all human elements, it becomes a thriving ecosystem again. So what is the future of World AR? I believe the future of AR, you know, recent AR lies in eyewear. You know, we're going to see what happens with Oculus Connect and see where the progress is on that. But for now, I feel it's going towards eyewear. You know, just a case study for that is definitely the new Ray-Ban stories that were released. This is not an AR set of glasses, so the next edition, I'm sure, will be the AR pair. So these are just a list of some of the things I feel will become popular when AR glasses come into play. So for fashion, I believe just body tracking in general is going to be something that's going to be explored a lot. Hand tracking, definitely, just for, just as controllers, even being able to have people using sign language to translate things like that, I think would be powerful. Location-based effects is still going to be a huge thing with landmarks. Image targets, I feel, as well, are going to be a huge technology with glasses. Your text translation, whether you travel into Japan and having, your menu translate in front of you. And then I believe there's going to be some form of like AR and VR hybrid headsets, some sort of like mixed reality systems. And that's what I feel the future holds for World AR. So thank you.
We thank you very much for your interesting information and story, Kym. Please stay connected with us. We will start right away the panel discussion. All of those presentations set up some questions. Yeah, sure. And we are here to talk about them, of course. Yeah. I would start with Kym, and actually it's a question for all of you. You can answer me. It looks well. It does not look. It is so that the AR industry, let me call it like this, is evolving extremely quickly. If you would compare not 2 years but 5 years back, Kym, what was the biggest difference now in your eyes?
Oh, there's a huge difference for me. I'd say just the accessibility alone has been a huge leaps and bounds. When I started everything, I started it when, around 2011, and everything was just application based. So getting a file onto the App Store and, just the accessibility was insane. So Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat bringing everything online changed everything, especially for our business.
Okay.
But also, I'm gonna drop it. COVID. Mm-hmm. COVID is a huge thing also for the online business. There's so many people went online because of COVID. And those platforms like Facebook, they already had like the AR effects we made. But a lot of people came with COVID to use it in that time. Yeah, because everybody's staying online. But you see it on all fronts. Spotify is going through the roof with their music because a lot of people have Google Home devices and things. They are listening to Spotify as if it was radio, and all because of COVID. Gave an enormous boost.
I think I can just underline it and confirm it because I'm, classic boomer myself. I think that's how it is. And actually, with COVID and the lockdowns and kids, going on remote education in schools, all the families and even people like me who were not that much familiar with such technologies and not that much in the, let's say, internet world. Not saying that I didn't have a Facebook profile before that, but as you say, many people, even people who didn't really think it's their way of operation, just got to it. They changed their buying habits also, and it's a really tremendous and really fast trend.
And it's all about getting connected. Because of COVID, we went inside of our homes and we were like isolated for a long time. The whole world was isolated. And then people, they are going to search for other means to get connected. And social media is one of those means at this time to do that. And on social media, we have ARfest. So people are having fun with our ARfest. And that thing, having fun with ARfest, that's also an important ingredient. Because COVID was also like depressing. So having fun is a very important ingredient.
I think
but
so.
AR is now, at the time, I think, a lot about fun. And when I'm gonna speak to you later in the day about the metaverse, we're gonna talk a lot about the future, the near future. And then we'll see that AR isn't only about fun.
Okay, let's keep this one for later on, for the minute.
Okay. Cool.
How about you, Vincent? What did you actually do 5 years ago? You know,
5 years ago, I went out of the university, so I was really at the beginning of everything, I would say. But like, what's changed a lot, and I guess it's linked with what Chris and Kym just said about accessibility and COVID as well, is the use of AR. Like before Facebook get into it, created Spark AR, built Spark AR, there was just 5 years ago maybe Snapchat just started doing AR as well. But just before that, there was no use of AR. It was really just few people using AR in the world. Now, like on Instagram, there is more than 600,000 creators that create AR actually. And there is billions of people like using AR every day, like around 200 million people every day on Snapchat get in contact with AR, and like that's a lot. Like 5 years ago, there was no one using AR actually. So that's I think the one of the main things that changed is the use of AR.
Is it because of accessibility?
Yeah, completely. It's just linked to accessibility. They brought AR into social media. Snapchat did first, and then Facebook followed. So that's just they give access to AR for everyone. That's completely accessibility. Yeah.
Okay. If you're talking about 500,000 of people being on Spark
using
AR,
Spark AR,
what would be very rough the percentage of, let me call it, with all the respect, little kids playing with that, and professionals who take it as a business tool, a creator's tool?
Yeah,
is it possible to estimate?
I have no idea. What we could say is that on the Facebook community group, where there is like maybe the most involved creators, there is 100,000 people. So I would say maybe like 1 on 6 are maybe people like more involved into the community at least than the rest. If we count just in terms of numbers, I can see, but for that I have no idea.
Yeah, you see a lot of with a lot of creators coming to the platform. There's also a lot of crap coming to the platform. So then and you see that the people that were like involved in the early phases of that creating AR for like Instagram and Facebook, they are like still the most prominent people, and giving education to all those other people that are now making crap, just to let them make less crap. Because it comes out of our nose at the moment. There's so many people, they're just like copying stuff and things like that. And we have to find a solution for that. And our solution is to help them, is to educate them. And if they have a question, just give a comment and things like that, you know.
You're touching a really important point also, from my point of view. It's a little bit the business part of it, or I mean the copyright, because definitely a creator's work needs to be protected somehow from copying, which in this kind of world is absolutely new, point and discipline, I would say, or new situation, because copying a vinyl vinyl album of Ozzy Osbourne in 1975 or 1980 is something technologically very different and much harder than copying, you know, possibly
digital
AR
assets, yeah.
Or how does that work?
Well, it's.
Am I right, or am
it's
I
also
seeing it wrong?
involved with like with the software and how it's distributed. And there was a time that when we published our AR effects, the file you could was open to download. The export file was open to download, and people found a way to do that, and that was like causing a problem. We spent a lot of time creating those effects, inventing it, and there's a lot of heritage in it. And when you see that happening, yeah, then it's really harsh to see. But I think it's solved now, that point. But still, and I don't mind people copying myself, because if you're good at what you do, then you will see it in the effect. You will see it as in the result of the effect.
So in some way it's confirmation that you're doing good things.
I've been copied by Snapchat, by TikTok, even by Instagram. They have like an Instagram filter that's called, I don't know how it's called, but you see that, you saw that revolution, that you see yourself 100 times? Instagram, they just copied that, put a bigger person in front of it, and called it a new effect. You don't have to, you don't have to take it so seriously. At the moment, it's the Wild West.
Okay.
AR is the Wild West, and we're just like shooting around with our AR effects. And also those guys that are the government of the Wild West at this time, like an Instagram and a Facebook and a Snapchat, they also are stealing stuff. So there will come a time that it will be like more balanced.
Definitely, and lawyers will possibly come into play, and then it's going to be the right time for fun.
I showed you that Disney Frozen effect, the first one I made. I told you I didn't use parts of the movie or made assets that look like the movie. I purposely made it realistic because I respect copyright. I respect copyright of a Disney, but also of other artists. Like I made an effect, and it's based on a artist that projects light on people. So you see a totally black person, and the light is projected on them. He's called Danny Oliver. But I made that effect in like I made contact with him to make that effect. You have to collab with people rather than just, oh, I like this, I gotta make an AR effect out of it.
That's
not honest.
Yeah, sure, about some values you respect, no matter what kind of business you are in fact.
It's for respecting people in general, you know. Yeah.
Kym, what's your point of view on you know, the movement as itself on copywriting? What is your experience? Are you being copied often?
I think there's a big difference between you know, being inspired by someone and just copying someone. You know, I think inspiration is very important. I think we all get inspired by all sorts of things in our lives and all sorts of people. But upright stealing, you know, like off Gumroad and stuff like that, that to me is where I draw the line. You know, I feel flattered when people, you know, when people are inspired by me, and I don't mind people trying to copy me. I mean, I don't know who would want to copy, you know, my filters. You know, it's nothing viral. So, yeah, my views are just inspiration is amazing. Stealing is just wrong.
Okay, thank you. In the backstage, we talked about how, and we'll get to it in the other panel discussions also again, but how really the AR does influence, let's say, the real life people. Your AR effects, and you mentioned that also in your presentation, Chris. It's focuses on human needs. What did you mean by that? Come back to it a little bit, please.
Almost everything I make, not only AR effects, is based on human needs. Because you have two kinds of human needs. You have primal human needs, like we have to, you try to connect with people, trying to connect with people. I'm gonna give you an example. Sorry. I'm gonna give you an example for like an effect I made that has almost the same amount of success as that Revolution one, and that's based on trying to focus on that need to connect. And connecting is like, how do you do that? It's mostly by expressing yourself. It's by talking to people and to showing a part of yourself, to showing emotions. And one of those emotions I just took, and the most positive one also, and that's love. Showing love to someone. So I took that primal human need and made a very simple effect around it. But also based on the most universal language you can imagine online, and that's emojis. How do you talk to someone in Japan or show your love to someone in Japan? By using emojis. So I made a simple effect, and it's called the love emoji. And it's just like a lot of love emojis are like twirling around and floating around you. And you can tap and choose your love emoji. But that thing still goes viral. Because, everybody wants to show their love to someone, to their grandma, to their mother, to their girlfriend, to their wife. Yeah, and that's what I mean by try to focus on human needs. Because it isn't only on online. It's basically the human needs. You just want to play with that all the time if you want to have success with your products.
The good thing that you picked love, because what if somebody would come up with suggestion to make hate emojis? What would you say?
I'm going to be honest. I made like another emotions also effects based on other emotions, like being angry. You can like when you put your
something's driving you,
then you get like her angry face, and I don't think that's wrong because we all have those emotions also. Being angry, being mad. There's a line to it.
Sure.
There's a line to it. Don't hate.
Hate
is like a wrong emotion, but it's on all fronts.
Okay, all of the animals have it inside, I think, and the human is the classic animal who's really pretty based on it, and at some stages
we are the worst.
It's it's good not really to play with it. I think.
No.
Talking about animals. I think it's to Kym actually. We talked about how the technology involved in the last 2 or 5 years. Do you think that in the future, and actually, what would be your guess when in AR effects, or let's talk about extended reality? Do you think it's possible to construct, to produce the X reality animal, which will be just 100% or almost 100% same as the actual one, building an elephant? What's your expectation on that? And does it make sense?
Oh yeah, realism is definitely just in 3D alone. You know, they're gonna push ways of pushing different shaders and new materials. You know, everything's upgrading with technology, and so will the realism of graphics, computer graphics. I've already seen some pretty cool results from Google already, with that you can access like now, you know, and those to me look like it's maybe 1 or 2 generations, you know, behind of what will start looking really amazing.
Yeah, thanks. What do you think, Vincent?
About realism or about?
About realism. If it makes sense, or if rather the AR has its biggest potentials in, let's say, other directions or in other aspects.
No, I mean, what was blocking the realism today is about the fact that users couldn't download like enough datas because like we only had 4G. So now maybe with 5Gs we're gonna push the boundaries of the weight of AR experiences actually on social media. Because if you go on other platforms, like Kym was saying, like the example of Google are online, so you access it through the web, so you don't have the same limitation of size that we have on social media. But that, I mean, actually the limit is about the size. So when we will have more 5Gs or 5Gs everywhere, we will be able to have maybe like experiences weight more, so more details and more informations in it, so more realism. So yeah, I think that's the boundaries right now is more about like the bandwidth of the network itself.
And is the realism, let's say, mainstream of AR, or how do you see it? Or rather, you think that extending the reality means not, you know, copying the real reality, but setting up other options?
I think that there will always be like a mix between them. You will have like effects that are really realistic, and people will like to use that because they are realistic. But sometimes it's just good to make an effect that's not realistic. That it's more like you're in a fantasy world. And I think that when we are, it depends on how the world is gonna get. If the world is gonna get grimmer and grimmer, then the fantasy part of it will be like more beautiful and less realistic, I think. But that's my opinion. Yeah.
But it's also depends on the. It can be scary. Like it depends on how far we push the augmented reality world, or how far we push like the metaverse maybe. But it can be scary to be like in a really realistic world, when knowing that we are in a virtual world. So I don't think it's necessary to have something really like realistic, because actually maybe my generation, maybe the next generation, like we like to be in a really realistic world. But like for me, it can be really scary knowing that you are on the virtual world, but it looks like real world. And so you can find the real boundaries between like, am I in the real world or am I not in the real world? Like maybe in 10 years we'll be able to spend like 24 hours in a virtual world or even more, even sleeping in the virtual world kind of. So I mean, like not knowing where you really wake up, like am I in the real world or am I in the, in the virtuality, can be really scary. So I think it's like kind of the limit we also have to think of in the next future. And I know you're going to speak about that later on, but like where are the limits? Yeah, that's the next question.
I agree with you totally. Are you an Oculus Quest player?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, then it's clear for me. On Oculus Quest, you have like a couple of games, and some of those games I'm too scared to play. I played once like a boxing game, and that boxer came to me, and I was like, what? You know? But also Resident Evil is coming out on the Oculus Quest. I'm not going to play that game. It's too realistic for me.
And there is as well a good example, like there is a think tank group called Open AR Cloud. So it's a group of AR engineers and AR creators and AR artists that join together, and they think of the future of the AR cloud. So the AR cloud is kind of the metaverse, but for augmented reality. And they are talking about the perfect murder. So
perfect world.
It's perfect murder.
Perfect murder.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
which is
well, it's
so
it's eternal.
yeah, but it's kind of the
question.
question like people like are asking themselves to like try to understand what are the boundaries that needs to be done and needs to be put inside that world. So, for example, imagine someone using augmented reality glasses. So, someone that is interacting with inside with the real world, because through augmented reality glasses you see the real world, but also through like virtual images or virtual objects that comes connecting to the real world. So you don't, with AR glasses, you might not really know if this box is real or this box is not real, you know, because it's augmented. So, for example, if you are on a bridge, like, and close to the high speedway or something like that, and then like a hacker comes and online, and like make you appear like a lion, like jumping to you, you know, like you feel it's a real lion, so you get scared, and then you fall down the bridge, you know. So this could be like kind of like the perfect murder, you know. So that's all the thing we need to think of when people will be wearing like AR glasses or like AR glasses in the real world. Like, so you need to think of the boundaries. Like, this can be really scary, you know, having too realistic things
and dangerous.
Yeah,
because
really
even though you're not like physically hit by the lion or the tiger,
your body
still
feels like
scare the hell out of it, you know, and your heart goes. That could go wrong. That could go wrong. Especially for guys of our age.
That's right. And I'm thinking also about kids, you know, at the same time. Because we, who are parents, definitely know some situation when, 6 or 8-year-old child was watching a movie on a regular TV. I wouldn't call that augmented reality, of course. But the feelings and the emotions stay inside. And it can, turn pretty bad, at least for some time, if it scares the kids, for example. So as you say, when it's more realistic, the more impact it might have again.
Yeah,
so
I'm hoping for a future that if I'm sitting at that breakfast table with my kids and they don't want to look at me as a parent, they can turn on something like turn my parents into South Park figures, something like that. Rather than I'm gonna turn on that lion that's gonna attack me.
Yeah, of course, it's a tool, it's a platform. It's not good or bad on itself, is it?
Yeah.
It's how we use it and what we use it for.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like internet.
It's like internet.
There is good and bad things on internet.
Or
like
a chair.
everything.
You can hit someone with a chair.
Yeah,
after
exactly.
all.
You have to find the balance, like we said before.
All right. Let me just check what the time is. Is there anything you would like to say, guys, which we didn't talk about or cover, because we do have time. So
stay tuned for this afternoon, or for after.
Yeah, it's like I told you earlier in this discussion. It's like we are like now in the Wild West. In the AR world, we are like in the Wild West, and we are like shooting around and seeing what happens with those things we are shooting with. It's like, oh, I make this effect, and it goes viral, or sometimes you don't. It surprises you, you know. You make something, and it's more out of fun and out of creativeness, and you put it on that social network, and it goes viral.
And you didn't expect that would be the case.
But out of those cases, you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot because you're getting also a lot of comments, positive but also hate, and if you filter that and you get all those opinions of people that are doing that, you can make a lesson out of it. So, oh, Chris, you have to do it that way in the future. You have to go that direction more than that direction, and I think that's the fun part of this Wild West. We're building, we are like, we're having the freedom to be creative, and we are building new grounds, and we're like, we can determine how that future will be.
Yeah. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. We talked about one more thing also, or one more aspect. How often do you actually get to people? How often you interact? I mean, not in a family, of course.
Well,
you do, but how you guys, from business point of view, how often you get in touch with agencies, real people? Do you sit behind, the computers all the day and night, or how do you have it? I think it doesn't have to be the same, does it?
For me, it's like I'm a creative director at Livehole, and it's a big digital agency, and that agency has a lot of project managers, and they are handling all kinds of client contact for me. But that's mostly for other products, like Spotify. We are doing a lot for them on advertising, and we're making content and things like that. But for AR, most people know me as an AR artist, rather than being the creative director of Livehole. So when people, contact me, clients, and I'm talking about like brands and like artists, like Ozzy Osbourne and a couple of them, they do that personally to me. So I come in like a remote call with those artists, and sometimes the record label or the communication department of that those people. But it's very personal at the time. Yeah, it's very it's fun.
How about Kym? What is your situation? Do you get in touch with people more or less? What's your modus operandi?
We ran out of a studio with that typical garage startup. So when COVID hit, we kind of had to abandon our office spaces. So I've been working at home during this COVID, ever since COVID began. And just balancing work and home has been much better, during this lockdown, I must say. Most of our clients as well, like we don't have many local clients. Most of our clients are from the States and the UK and Italy, and surprisingly we get a lot of work from Turkey as well. And Dubai. So, a lot of our meetings are just online, and I think that's just the future of digital in general. Everything we do is online, so why should we, be meeting in person these days?
Yeah, I understand. How about Vincent?
So before COVID, we usually try to, when we had a client, because we're living in Paris, and that was the reason why we were living in Paris, is because we could meet people in person. But we kind of lose that interest during COVID because everything went online, like every call, etc. So now that COVID is over, we try to meet in real person, in real life, instead of just having calls, because there is always if it's a client, it's always great to understand how they feel, how they react, and it's always great to shake hands and spare a beer with someone, or have a drink or coffee or something like that. And when it's other coworkers or people that do the same thing as us, it's always good to try to create a friendship and to share that friendship. And I really miss that meeting people in person, because that's something I really like. So that's also the reason why I went to the ARfest in 2019, etc. But I've been working home remotely for 3 years now. So missing that moment when I could go out to meet clients was really important for me. So I'm really happy that now the COVID the situation is going back to normal, a little bit slowly, but going back to normal. So now we could meet creators and clients again. So that's great. I mean, I really like that, meeting people. Sorry.
Do you think that that in the future we will can do that virtually? that feeling, that you can get that feeling also virtually.
Yeah, if we could get that feeling virtually, like no problem, I will do it. But for right now, I feel that feeling with a video call is not the same, you know. No. Even though it's like way more efficient. Like last time, for example, I went to see a client that they're just like 2 kilometers or like 5 kilometers, yeah, 5 kilometers from my place, but it took me like 30-35 minutes to go and 30-35 minutes to go back, you know, and like, so I lose 2 hours. And so going to see them, like even at 9 a.m., I'm losing my morning, you know. So it would have been way more efficient to do the video call, for sure. But that you miss that, like, so it depends on the call, you know. If it's the first time you meet a client, if it's a big contract, I prefer to see them in real life. If it's just like following up on the project or something like that, like, you know, you can do it online. But like, Kym is based in SA, and like for them it's like really important to have that online meetings, and for us as well. Like we usually work with people like in the UK or even like in India or in the US. And like last time we had a call with Kym, you know, it would haven't been possible if we didn't have that video call. So it's also really important. And like the call we had with Kym was really like friendly, and you could also feel like this kind of the same feeling that we are in real. But because we know each other, we work in the same industry, we are in the same like groups, and we've been talking together before, and etc. So, but when it's the first time you meet someone, I really prefer like meeting him in real life. You know, that's yeah.
I do also, but I must say that some things that are like changed by COVID, like shaking hands. I don't miss that. Because a lot of people have like those boneless chicken hands, you know, sweaty.
Okay, we need to teach them how to do it.
Yeah, right. So I'm trying to, even if COVID is away, to keep that a little bit like namaste or something like that.
Then, shaking hands is not a really global thing. Yeah? We have to bear that in
France
mind.
we kiss, no, I'm joking.
Aren't you French?
Yeah. I'm joking. But yeah. No, I mean like... I really like that. Something we really like. I had a talk with my wife in August about the fact that I was too much into work, you know. But I still met people, you know. But it was online, so I was just home. Like you know, you wake up, you go into your desk, you have like 5 meters to walk, and then you work like 10 to 15 hours a day, and then you have you're 5 meters back to work, and you go to sleep, you know. So yeah, like Kym, we had to leave our office during COVID because like we just flew, and it was just money thrown away. So, yeah, I wish it goes back to normal. Like, yeah,
sure. I'm pleased that you mentioned ARfest as one of opportunities to meet in person. Yeah. So I'm really happy that people like him and other speakers who will be also connected to us remotely are taking part in today's sessions. But if I could make a wish, it would be next time everybody in Prague.
Yeah, for sure.
ARfest was like the first events in Europe, except from Facebook, because they had like the 2018 hackathon. So and independent, you know. So I think it's still and was very important for us as creators and people who want to get involved into SparkAir and make it grow to go there, you know. And I wish they had more people in 2019, even though we were like a lot of people, I found. And today also, I wish there is a lot of people watching it, and I wish there will be more people in 2022 to come there, you know. Because like what you do here and what you do for the community and what you do for AR in general is great, and it needs to be like, it needs to get more visibility and like more people getting involved into it, because we really need that. You know, if there is no community, there is no tool. If there is no community, there is no AR, because it's all about the community, you know, it's all about the client and the user base. If there is no user base, if there is no creators, if there is nothing, there won't be AR, you know. Sure. Yeah. It's like every technology, they need money, you know. And how do you attract money? You make it bigger, you grow people, you know. That's our only goal, I guess, is that you make it bigger. You know?
Also in like education. It's like having this community on Spark on Facebook. It's how do you say it? Well, you don't have to pay for an education. You can learn a lot about like looking at other people, how they do it, but also ask them for how did you do that. I love that effect what you made. I'm not gonna copy it, but I want to I was inspired by you, and I want to create that, but I don't know how. And they are happy to learn you. So one of those speakers later on in the day, Marc, he helped me also when I was like just starting with AR. By the way, I didn't know a thing about making AR when I started. I just thought, fun hobby, gonna do that. Came into the community, was lucky to get into that closed beta program to make Instagram effects. But learned in a way, but mostly from the community. They were helping me, like, yo, Chris, you can better do that in this way than what you're doing now.
Yeah. That's what artists do. That's what the painters do, sculptors do. They see each other's work and talk about it and learn from one another. I think really the community, and you all say it actually, is the conditio sine qua non. It's something that must be existing, as well as the money and the users and the companies who are willing to buy it. That's what we are going to talk about in the next session, which will start at 11, our time here. Let me thank Vincent Trastour, Marc, Pelk.
No, Chris Pelk.
Chris Pelk. I'm so sorry. I knew I'm gonna do that. I'm really sorry. Sorry, Chris.
No problem.
And of course to Kym Fiala as well, who was connected with us remotely. Thank you for watching us, and we'll be back, and you'll be back, I believe, with us at 11.
Yo, Kym, can you give me a virtual high five?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Can you yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's great.
Slap. It's there. So if I can ask to the direction for some little spots, and we're gonna leave the stage for a minute now.